I think we know most of you, but for those of you who don't know us, my name is Ryan. This is my sister Christina, and these are my two cousins, Andrew and Kevin. And we're very happy to be here to celebrate the life of our grandfather, who we called Granddad. And we just kind of wanted to do something a little unconventional and have a little conversation about some of our fondest memories that we have about our granddad. And we wanted to reminisce. And I think there's probably no better place to start than our childhood. My father just finished claiming that our grandfather was wonderful with children, and that indeed he was. But do you have any thoughts about that, Christina? I mean, how do you think about your relationship with Granddad when you were a child?
From a real young age, I remember Granddad coming up to watch us on ski trips and other vacations that Mom and Dad went on. One particular memory that I always remember is the fluffernutter sandwich story. It was time for lunch, so Granddad said, "What do you guys want for lunch?" And Ryan said whatever he wanted, and I said, "I want fluffernutter." And Granddad goes, "What? I want fluffernutter. I want fluffernutter. What the heck is that?" So we finally got a hold of Mom and Dad, and they said, "It's marshmallow fluff and peanut butter sandwich." And Granddad goes, "Oh gosh." So every time I see marshmallow fluff, that's one memory that always stick with me. And then it was always the Christmases. They'd come to Connecticut to find the perfect tree. And the ugly tinsel that he always liked to put on the trees.
He thought it was quite beautiful.
That we'd find all year long, everywhere around the house.
And the things that I kind of remember, living in Denver, far away from everyone here on the East Coast, whenever we'd get together, the 2 or 3 times a year we would, his breakfasts he would make were always a huge event for all of us,
especially a restaurant.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And in particular, the crown jewel of those breakfasts were his pancakes, and we actually called them Bags pancakes.
Why do they call them bags?
I think it's because he always had those big baggy pants, those sweatpants on that he would wear in the morning.
His leisure pants.
His leisure pants.
Yeah, Nana always hated that.
Yeah, no, she wasn't a fan, but
washed once during his lifetime.
But yeah, I mean, he just, just like with everything he did, he had such a deliberate process when he was making these pancakes. He only would use Hungry Jack pancake mix. Nothing else was good enough for him. And everything would be cooked on low heat, to ensure that it was the perfect shape, golden brown on each side. And he'd do the same thing with his eggs, and they would never be dried out. They'd always be absolutely perfect, slow cooked, and top some of those pancakes with Nana's yogurt topping. And like you were saying, he could have easily opened his own chain of restaurants. I think that it's either you or Uncle Rick that holds the record for the most pancakes consumed in one sitting.
I gotcha. No.
And I think it's around 11 or 12, but regardless of who ate the most, we'd all spend about an hour or so on the sofa in a food coma afterwards.
And speaking of that, do you guys remember how particular he was with just where the food needed to be positioned on the plate?
Those plates he had in different sections?
Yeah, we even got him plates that had dividers on them eventually, so we'd do it for him. It was that easy. But he had this meticulous process of going about getting things ready for dinner. He'd separate his meats, his vegetables, and his fruits. Nothing could touch one another. And then a funny story that I remember from a dinner we had in Connecticut together was he got up from the dinner table to get a glass of water after he had spent about 10 minutes putting his plate together. And my dad and Uncle Rick waited until he got out of the room. They were right when he left the room, they scrambled all his food together into a really big pile. And he came back and just about lost it. His scowl on his face. It's crazy. But other memories I have about him, one of the things I look back on and really cherish was the road trip that we had together. We spent 8 hours in the car together, moving him from Leisure World in Maryland all the way up to his new home in Connecticut here. And And during that time, we talked about, as Uncle Rick touched on, his poor upbringing. We talked about, the death of friends, losing loved ones. We talked about the challenges of getting older and growing up, and the change that he and Nana were resistant to in moving from Asia World to Connecticut. And that was really the first time that Granddad and I connected as adults, and that was pretty special because we talk about this loving grandfather, this role model figure, and this was the first time that I was able to see Granddad as a real person, and not just a caring grandfather.
Yeah, Kev, you were mentioning Granddad's famous breakfasts, and I think that was really a true testament to his persistence, his patience, and his constant quest for perfection, right? I mean, that oatmeal that he would make, he would make this oatmeal that would take him the better part of an hour, probably over an hour. And we were sitting there waiting, and in my tide of impatience, he would say, "Rye, good things take time." But that oatmeal, it was the bomb. It was the best. It was the greatest oatmeal. I really miss it. There will never be oatmeal like that again, unfortunately, unless we can replicate it, which I don't think we ever got a secret.
No, I don't think we have it down.
But he was a man of perfection, and everything he did, you could see that perfection. He would make just everything you could possibly imagine. Mangers for both families, for us to have at Christmas. These wonderful grandfather clocks.
He made us hampers with our names on them, made out of wood.
Hampers with our names on them that I still have. She has her in her room, I still have mine in my room. A basketball court that was basically scaled down to size for all my starting lineup figures.
All these basketball action figures.
Who can do that? The guy he's a craftsman, and he's also a mechanic and a textile artist, and whatever you want to call him. He was a jack of all trades, really. An unbelievable man. Yeah, it was.
And he put together something for
And
you
he
too,
made me
right?
this big, beautiful wooden shadow box with over 100 little slots, all different sizes, where I kept all my special trinkets. And I recently just handed that down to his great-grandson, my son Aiden, and he puts his little treasures in there. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was always just so great with kids, as you were saying, Uncle Rick. I mean, he would turn into a big kid himself when he was around all of us, and just absolutely loved playing with us, and had all these different tricks that just left us astounded afterwards. And I'm going to attempt to replicate one of them right here. Some of you might remember this, but he would line up 4 quarters on his hand, and I only have 3 right here. Throw them all up in the air and catch them individually. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. And that was with 3 quarters. I mean, he could do it with 4. It was you want to give it a shot? No. Yeah. All right, come on.
Had me left.
Don't show.
And that was number 2.
Oh, 2's pretty good. 2's pretty good.
I thought I got them all.
No, it's there.
So yeah, I mean, little tricks like that. I was also convinced at a young age that he had a removable finger, because he would do this trick where it looked like he was separating it from the rest of his fingers, but he would commit to it so hard. I mean, he'd make the cracking sound. He would pretend like he was in so much pain, and it would just always put a smile on my face. And whether it was these little tricks he was doing or just rolling around on the floor playing with us, he always made us smile and laugh, and really became a child himself when he was with us.
He did, and I mean, you guys remember how he was at Christmas. He was Father Christmas for us. I mean, every single memory that we have around Christmas it just brings so much joy to all of us. I remember one in particular from their visit to Denver. They came out to Denver, Colorado, and we have this tradition back at home where Kev and I have to sit at the very top of the stairs until we hear the sleighs of Santa's sleigh ringing in the morning, and that's when we can run downstairs and have a look at all the presents. Well, Granddad, he runs down the stairs before all of us in his robe and goes and peeks at all the gifts first. And Kevin and I are losing it. We're tapping our feet at the top of the stairs, waiting to get down. We're anxious, and he comes back around the corner slowly, eyes lit up, and he's got this big smile on his face. And in his robe, he's jumping around at the bottom of the stairs going, Santa Claus has come, Santa Claus is here.
I don't think he was quite that fluid.
And so we finally got to hear the bells ring of Santa's sleigh, and Kevin and I bolted down the stairs and met Granddad. We all ran into the living room together and got to just cherish the joy of Christmas and the toys, and Granddad literally turned himself into a child just for us, and that was pretty special about him.
That's so true about Granddad. I mean, I remember being with him when I was a kid, and it was just like I was with another child. He had this wonder and excitement that was contagious. I think he brought us all to the Washington Zoo, and he just sort of instilled this passion for the natural world that I still hold with me today. Would bring me to the park to feed the ducks, would talk to me about space, the speed of light, how far the sun was from the earth. He was so fascinating. He was such an intelligent man, and he loved all this stuff, and he really piqued my, I guess, inquisitive nature about life and about the world, and I'll always carry that with me. Such an intelligent individual. He really motivates and inspires me.
He recently, he loved little children, so I recently asked Aiden what he remembered about his great-grandfather, and he said he always made me laugh. He was a funny guy, and he had a really hard handshake. So yeah, those are the three things
That grip.
Aiden remembered. And I'm very grateful for the last couple of years. I got to take care of him. We became very close. And led me to my passion of caregiving and going back to school for nursing. And he was always asking about my grades, and every time I bring home an A, he had that big smile, those big blue eyes. He was so proud. Yeah, and then little things like when I would make him a hamburger, never enough garlic. I put like half the bottle of garlic in, still not enough. But it's funny because he couldn't smell for 15, 20 years anyway, so I probably didn't really taste it. So,
And he was only eating with 3 teeth, so.
yeah.
Kind of stubborn.
He always had his soda, half diet, half regular. Had to be like that, exact half and half.
Set in his ways.
Yeah, and I just remember one last thing, his last words to me. I was heading out the door to go to school, and I said, I love you, and he said, I love you too, Christina. And that was a couple days before he passed, so.
Yeah, pretty special. So as everyone can tell, Granddad has had an impact on us in a variety of ways, different ways, and a lot of different perspectives up here. But he will be missed, and his love will run through us forever. So if everyone could join us and grab the hymn book that's located under your seat and turn to hymn number 535, and I'll get up and sing the Navy hymn.